The wine glass exploded against the hardwood, shards scattering as red wine bled across the floor beneath the chandelier's dull light. Sarah froze mid-laugh, her smile dissolving as every eye at the dinner table turned toward her. Friends. Neighbors. Faces that had been animated moments ago now stiffened with unease. Her husband, David, didn't move. His hand gripped the fork so tightly his knuckles blanched, the silver catching the light like a blade. "It was just a joke," Sarah said quickly, her laugh trembling on the edge of her words. "You know, husband swapping. Like one of those stupid reality shows." No one laughed. The air felt thick, almost suffocating, as though her words had opened a door better left shut. Just an hour earlier, the evening had felt perfect. The dining room glowed in soft candlelight, sage-green walls wrapping everyone in warmth. The smell of roasted lamb mingled with garlic and rosemary, and laughter drifted above the clinking of glasses. Sarah had spent the entire day preparing, hoping to impress their new neighbors, Claire and Tom. David, ever the charming host, had kept the conversation easy. Travel stories, work jokes, friendly teasing. But after the second bottle of Merlot, her playful comment, an offhand suggestion about swapping spouses for fun, dropped into the room like a stone. Claire's smile faltered. Tom cleared his throat and looked down at his plate. And David? David's expression hardened in a way that made her heart skip. She tried to smooth it over. "Come on, you guys. It was a joke." Her voice cracked. Even to her own ears, it sounded hollow. When David finally pushed his chair back, the sound of wood scraping against the floor was loud enough to make everyone flinch. "I need some air," he muttered and left the room. Sarah's heart pounded as silence swallowed the table. Something about his reaction wasn't right. More than embarrassment, there was fear there. Later, when the guests had gone and the dishes sat untouched in the sink, Sarah stood alone in the kitchen, staring at the fragments of the broken glass. Her thoughts replayed the moment on an endless loop. Maybe she'd gone too far. Maybe he was just angry about the joke. But the way his eyes had looked, dark, wounded, distant, not at her. The back door creaked. David stepped in, his face pale under the porch light. "We need to talk," he said quietly. They sat across from each other in the living room, the candlelight now just smoke and melted wax. The wedding photo on the coffee table seemed to watch them, frozen in happier times. "What's going on?" Sarah asked. "You've been acting strange all night." "It was just a stupid joke." David's jaw tightened. "It's not the joke," he said. "It's everything." Her chest tightened. "Everything? What's that supposed to mean?" He began pacing, his shadow stretching long across the rug. "I saw the way Tom looked at you. Like he knew something." Sarah blinked. "Knew what?" "David, you're not making any sense." "I saw you too," he said, his voice low, trembling. "At the coffee shop. You were laughing. You touched his arm. You didn't see me, but I saw you." The memory hit her. She had seen Tom last week, just a quick chat over coffee about the neighborhood. She might have touched his arm, maybe even laughed too loud. But it was harmless. "David," she said, exasperated. "That meant nothing. You're reading into it." He didn't answer, just stared at the floor, his silence sharper than any accusation. Over the next few days, their home became unfamiliar. The laughter that used to fill it was replaced by long silences, and the creak of distance growing between them. David spoke less. He stared at his phone longer. And at night, when Sarah reached for him, he flinched, like her touch burned. She tried everything, his favorite dinners, his favorite movies, but nothing seemed to reach him. The more she tried, the further he drifted, until she began to wonder if she was the one losing her mind. Then one night her phone buzzed. The glow of the screen cut through the dark bedroom. A message from Claire. "We need to talk. It's about Tom and David." Sarah's blood ran cold. "What about them?" She typed. Claire's reply came instantly. "Not here. Meet me tomorrow. The park. 10 a.m. Sarah lay awake the rest of the night, her mind spinning with possibilities. David slept soundly beside her, but to her he felt miles away. The next morning, the park was blanketed in amber leaves, the air sharp with autumn chill. Claire sat on a bench, pale, clutching her phone like a lifeline. "I didn't want to believe it," Claire whispered when Sarah approached. "But Tom's been acting different. Distant. I thought he was cheating on me, With another woman. Then I found this. She handed Sarah her phone. On the screen was a photo of a hotel receipt, dated 2 months earlier. Tom said it was a work conference, Claire continued. But I called his office. There was no conference. Sarah's heart hammered as she stared at the name next to Tom's on the booking. David Monroe. The world seemed to tilt. Her breath caught. No, she whispered. No, that can't be right. Claire's voice broke. I think they've been meeting. I don't know why. I just had to tell you. Sarah sat down hard, the cold bench biting through her coat. The truth twisted inside her like a knife. David's late nights. His excuses. His locked phone. The way he'd avoided her eyes. When she got home, David was sitting in the living room, staring at nothing. Tell me the truth, she said, throwing the printed receipt onto the coffee table. What were you doing with Tom? For a moment he didn't speak. Then his shoulders slumped, and something in his face cracked open. Not guilt, but exhaustion. It's not what you think, he said quietly. We weren't cheating. Not like that. Then what? Sarah demanded. David's voice trembled. Tom's been helping me. I'm in debt, Sarah. Bad debt. I made some terrible investments. I didn't want you to find out. Her breath hitched. Relief and anger collided in her chest. You lied to me for months. He nodded, tears in his eyes. I was ashamed. I thought I could fix it before you ever had to know. Sarah sank into a chair, her heart breaking under the weight of it all. The betrayal wasn't physical. It was the silence, the secrets, the wall he'd built between them brick by brick. She realized then that the real damage hadn't started with a joke about swapping spouses. It had started long before, when the laughter in their house stopped sounding like love, and started sounding like strangers trying to remember how to feel it.